Here we go, people. Let's see. Today, the lesson is lesson 152, and the power of decision is my own. Straight from A Course in Miracles. Thank you, Jesus. All right, here we go. No one can suffer loss unless it be his own decision. No one suffers pain except his choice elects this state for him. No one can grieve, nor fear, nor think him sick, unless these are the outcomes that he wants. And no one dies without his own consent. Nothing occurs but represents your wish, and nothing is omitted that you choose. Here is your world, complete in all details. Here is its whole reality for you, and it is only here salvation lies. Wow. Right? So right away, Jesus is like, you're responsible. No one suffers pain except his choice elects this state for him. No one can grieve, nor fear, nor think him sick unless these are the outcomes that he wants. Now, most people will be like, well, I don't want to be sick. Well, I didn't choose to get abused when I was younger. You know, all of these things. And consciously, maybe not. But if we take being sick, for instance, and if we reflect back to when we were children and we got sick and our mummies took care of us and they kissed us on the forehead and gave us lots of love and lots of warm chicken soup, and it felt really good. We felt very loved. We felt very safe and protected. We enjoyed that feeling of being taken care of from our mother. And that association, if we experience that and we make that association in our mind, what happens is we contribute pleasure to pain. Which is what this world is, opposites, right? And so therefore, later in life, if we get to a point where we are feeling that we want to experience love and that we want to experience pleasure, we will manifest within ourselves this sickness so that we receive what we ask for, pretty much, right? So we will have these associations within our minds and we will manifest it in our body. And then when this happens, we go, oh, I'm sick, I don't want to be sick, all of this stuff. And it's like, hello, like, you manifested this yourself. You brought this forward yourself because of the choice that you made in your own mind. Yeah, maybe you made it when you were a child. Yeah, maybe you made it sometime when you really didn't mean it, but then you accepted the thought anyways. It happens, people. But there is nothing that can happen to us. We always allow it to happen to us, and it is a choice. No one can attack us, ever. Words don't hurt us. We can let them hurt us. We can take it personally, but they don't. You know, if someone were to come up to me right now and call me like a fat cow, I'd be like, I love you. Like, it's not possible. Like, before I would have gotten hurt, before I probably would have gone home and cried because I thought I was a fat cow. And therefore, if somebody else calls me that, I'm going to take it personally. But no, like, it is up to us. It always comes down to our own choice, right? And as we've experienced, you know, some sort of, you know, horrible thing before, we will hold on to that in the fear of that not happening again. And by holding on to the past in fear of it not happening again, we are choosing it to happen again for us. It's whatever we hold in our mind, right? Or another example, right? If someone did something in their life, such as, you know, adultery, for instance, and they feel really, 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 really guilty about it, what can happen is this guilt can manifest within the body, and therefore you start to have problems in your reproductive system, for instance, right? Or you're not seeing truly, and then you start to get malfunctions in the eyes, and your eyes start, like, obliterating out because you're using your physical eyes, not your third eye. So it's a sign for you to use your third eye. Like, everything that happens in our physical body has a cause in the mind. So instead of going, oh, my physical body's sick, I need to go to the doctor and take pills and take drugs, instead we could go, no, the effect is in the body, the cause is in my mind. Let me take it back up here and see where the thought that I have is that is keeping this pain, this sickness alive. Okay? All right. You may believe that this position is extreme and too inclusive to be true. This is kind of what I was saying at the beginning. Whole ego, whole spirit. All sickness comes from here, right? You may believe that this position is extreme and too inclusive to be true. Yet can truth have exceptions? If you have the gift of everything, can loss be real? Can pain be part of peace or grief of joy? No. Can fear and sickness enter in a mind where love and perfect holiness abide? Truth must be all-inclusive if it be the truth at all. Accept no opposite and no exceptions, for to do so is to contradict the truth entirely. That is so going on my Facebook status later. Right? It's true. We are unlimited. We are perfect whole joy, perfect whole love. Any thought of fear or condemnation or grief or sickness is not possible. We choose it to be because we're thinking through the mind of ego, but it's not possible. And when we choose to think through our real mind, by remembering who we really are, we can no longer experience those things that we've experienced in the past. We stop the cycle. We start fresh. It's like we're reborn. Brand new wings so that we can fly through the world instead of trudging through dirt and mud all the time. You know? Salvation is the recognition that the truth is true and nothing else is true. This you have heard before, but may not yet accept both parts of it. Without the first, the second has no meaning, but without the second, is the first no longer true. Truth cannot have an opposite. This is exactly what I've been saying. Truth cannot have an opposite, right? This cannot be too often said and thought about. For if what is not true is true, as well as what is true, then part of truth is false, and truth has lost its meaning. I don't even need to say anything to that. You know? Nothing but the truth is true, and what is false. Nothing but the truth is true. We are souls, we are children of God, we are infinite and beautiful and perfect. Anything other than that is not true. We are always souls for all of eternity. That never changes. We are having this experience of a body in this physical world momentarily. Forgive ourselves for the mistakes that we have made here, as they make not even a bump in the road of who we are. Our soul does not experience it here. It observes and it watches in silence and in patience for us to be open and willing to hear our true selves. Right? But it doesn't experience this physical world with us or get hurt with us or experience pain with us. It's not possible. We are living an illusion here. We are dreaming here in the mind that is separate from God. But that is not who we are. Right? And we leave this behind. You know, we learn, but we are learning to wake up to humility and kindness and peace and joy. And we will have these lifetimes, like people probably believe in like past lives, you know, and all this stuff. And we come each time to learn a part of the curriculum. Yes. And now, at this point on earth, is the time when the majority of us have experienced enough in this physical world to have learned the lessons that they need to learn so that they come back in this lifetime to continue to learn, but more for the purpose of accepting our truth and sharing it, right? And then we continue to learn through this process. Okay? This is the simplest of distinctions, yet the most obscure. But not because it is a difficult distinction to perceive. It is concealed behind a vast array of choices which do not appear to be entirely your own. Exactly. We believe that things that have happened to us, that we didn't ask for it, that things happened to us and that it wasn't planned by the universal spirit for us to learn through it, right? Like, it's a choice that we make, whether it be as a soul before we come here or as a physical body here in this ego mind. Like, we are always making the choice. We cannot deny that. If we deny that, then we're not taking responsibility and we can never be healed. But as soon as we take responsibility, we can recognize the truth of what I'm saying and what Jesus is saying. It is concealed behind a vast array of choices which do not appear to be entirely your own. And thus the truth appears to have some aspects that belly consistency, but do not seem to be but contradictions introduced to you. Right? So at first, like, the truth just appears to be a contradiction, like a complete lie to what you've experienced your whole life. It can't possibly be true because I've never experienced that. I don't know anybody else who's experienced it, so it can't possibly be true. Like, that's what ego will say, right? But it is true. Truth is true. As God created you, you must remain unchangeable with transitory states, by definition false. And that includes all shifts in feeling, alterations in conditions of the body and the mind, and in all awareness and in all response. This is the all-inclusiveness which sets the truth apart from falsehood, and the false kept separate from the truth as what it was. That's the thing. So as God created us to be, we will always remain, right? And when we start to choose and make the decision that we want to be as God created us to be, our entire lives change. Like, our body conditions will change, our mind changes, our relationships change, our experiences around us change, everything changes. This is an extension from our thought change, right? So the mind that is one with God is everything. So we don't lose anything that is around us. It just becomes improved. It just becomes better. We don't necessarily have to quit our job and cut our relationships and become this hermit in my mind all the time. No. You implement these truths into our daily lives, and you use who is around you and what is around you and the experiences that you're having as the lessons that you need to learn more about who you really are. Right? So it's all, you don't lose anything. You don't lose anything but the negativity. You don't lose anything but the pain and the confusion. You don't lose anything but, the unforgiveness and the past and all this shit. And that shit we don't need. It's not truth. You can leave it where it belongs. Is it not strange that you believe to think you made the world you see is arrogance? Seriously. God made it not. Of this you can be sure. What can he know of the ephemeral, the sinless and the guilty, the afraid, the suffering and lonely, and the mind that lives within a body that must die? God does not know ourselves as a body, people. God does not know ourselves as an ego. Therefore, God does not know this world because we created this world through our separate mind. God knows everything that is living within it. Everything that is living within it is his souls. And us as souls, when we choose to remember that we are souls, can then have that joining and unification with our Creator. But until we make the decision that we are souls over us being a body that can die, we will always remain trapped into that mind that believes that it can fear and be lonely and suffer. Okay. You but accuse him of insanity to think he made a world where such things seem to have reality. He is not mad. Yet only madness makes a world like this. So it's confirming to us that God did not make this world. We made this world. Take responsibility for it, people. Okay, this earth that is falling apart is because of our own ego mind. It is a reflection of our own insanity and our own suffering. Okay? God did not create this shit. We did. And as we take responsibility for it within our own minds, then we heal our minds, which extends outwards. We are natural creators. Either we can create a world like this separate from our Creator, or now we can bring forward our unification and God into this world through us, right? So it's a choice, and we are now learning that we have this choice and that we can make this choice. To think that God made chaos contradicts his will, invented opposites to truth, and suffers death to triumph over life. All this is arrogance. Humility would see at once these things are not of him. Amen. And can you see what God created not? To think you can is merely to believe you can perceive what God willed not to be. And what could be more arrogant than this? Okay. Let us today be truly humble and accept what we have made as what it is. The power of decision is our own. decide but to accept your rightful place as co-creator of the universe, and all you think you made will disappear.